thing in the notes.
Now
Hello, one and all. If you're tuning in just now, feel free to fast forward about 7 minutes, I guess. This is the pre-show. We kind of sign on and we just sign on, and we say hi to folks and let people get settled and say what they need to say, and lots of stuff to talk about tonight. Bow chicka wow wow.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Oh my goodness, how's everybody doing? Hi, Susie, how are you? Kiaria, hello, hello. And so much going on. Let's see who's going to make the first comment.
What's up, everybody? I made the first comment.
No, it wasn't that. I'm talking about the change. What's going on?
Hey, if you're gonna make the world a better place, na 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 na. How about that? That's too busy. Huh?
No, it's all right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Funkatopia Live again. If you are Charlotte, hello, Shirley, hello, Lenny, hello, Julie, hello. If you're just joining us tonight, we're going to have the amazing Liv Warfield going to be joining us tonight, and we are so looking forward to that. Last time I had her on the show was 2015. I looked it up. It's been a minute.
It's been 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's been quite a bit of minutes since. Arlene, hello. So this is a pre-show again. For those of you just joining us, you can fast forward in about 6 minutes, as we'll actually start the show. But we like to come on here and just say hello to folks and let them kind of settle in.
Julie, what's up? Lenny, what's happening? I missed all the hellos. Charlotte, we're just gonna say everyone's name twice. I think that.
Yeah, it's it. Josh was in the house.
Peoples, Yarborough and people.
So we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. We got some stuff to talk about. Lori, hello. We got some stuff to talk about tonight. I want to save the news for after we talk to Liv, and that's really going to be dependent on a couple of things. Right out of the gate. Ronlin, what's going on?
Oh yeah.
Ronlin actually just talked to Liv as part of the club. What was it? The Rodney's group 365.
Oh, really?
They actually had Liv on. Was it last week or a couple weeks ago? And Ronlin sits in with that one. Carrie, what's going on? Cassandra, hello. Trish, hello. I'm taking away all your hellos, Jeff Page.
I mean, it's all right. It's all good. It's a double high.
Hey. So it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. We're going to be talking with Liv Warfield. We got a lot of news to talk about too. Afterwards, we're going to talk about. We'll talk a little bit about the passing of Betty Davis, which happened Wednesday last week. So the day after we had just got done doing Funkatopia Live. I want to talk a little bit about her. I want to talk a little bit about just very, very briefly. Not going to spend Owen's time on it. Ender Sherry. We want to talk a little bit about the halftime show or the Super Bowl. Just got to talk about that. We're talking about the an upcoming Twitch only show.
Twitch.
Maybe Twitch and YouTube, maybe.
Something.
We'll talk a little bit about that. And then of course we have a pretty major update. Pretty major update with Purple Yoda Radio that you guys are going to want to. You're not going to want to miss it. Linda, hello. Patricia Ruffin's in the house.
I'm going to mute you for a sec.
I'm going to get muted for a sec. It's all good. Kiaria says, did you listen to the Purple Rain production on Clubhouse? No, I didn't. Yeah, I there's not a whole bunch of podcasts and stuff that I really listen to, because normally if I'm not doing this, I'm like working and it's just a lot of stuff going on. It's craziness all the time. But anyways,
I can relate to that.
It's just, I know. today is a prime example of just kind of. It's not that Funkatopia is an afterthought, because it's not. It's not at all. Always thinking about it, but it's just so much going on.
Yeah,
So much
exactly.
going on. So we've officially been online for about 5 minutes, and nobody has said anything about the mustache being gone.
Oh
No, I'm fine with it. I don't care.
no, I know it hurts.
But it doesn't. I'm sad about it.
Nobody notices.
Julie says, watching New Jack City and Ice-T look so young. Everybody looks so young in that movie. It's like
I know, babies. It makes it like, especially if you haven't seen it over all these years, and then you go back and you're like, what just happened? Like,
yeah, it's where it's kind of like watching Boys in the Hood, and you're like, what the heck?
I know. Oh, but you know what? Let me say, the one, not a look, but necessarily the sound, like Morgan Freeman, though, he's still got the best voice for narration ever. Yeah, his voice hasn't changed.
Dave Chappelle definitely agrees on that one for sure.
Oh man, he sounds great.
Yeah, and so you know what? We were just gonna I told you we're swapping things. We normally do news at the beginning, and then we do an interview, and I normally just make the guests sit tight, but I'm just not gonna do that today.
That's right. That's right.
I'm just not gonna do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in somebody who's dear to my heart. We never really hung out like one-on-one personally, but I've had her on the show multiple times. But the last time I had her on the show was 2015, and that was just crazy. And it was, let me just go ahead and bring her on. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring on Liv Warfield. What's up? We're gonna make you big. How you doing, dear?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing fantastic.
Liv!
Hey, what's going on? Y'all know I'm happy to be here, okay?
So the last time Liv was on the show, we had I don't remember what happened, but it was so funny because it was like some type of technical difficulties that you were having or I was having. Mm-hmm. And you sent me a picture on my phone of you staring at the computer screen. You were like,
look, I wanted to make sure that I got it right this time. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I think it's officially 8:00, so we can just go ahead and just start this. Normally, we've done things a little bit differently here because we used to do this via the app, but we wanted to make sure there was editing and everything before we push it out worldwide because after this we go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, and the whole Amazon, the whole thing. So we just said, you know what, we're gonna avoid all the technical fun stuff and just enjoy ourselves. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Funkatopia Live. It is my honor to welcome the one and only beautiful and talented Liv Warfield in the house. How are you, dear?
Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, y'all.
Oh man, as I said, it's been so long since I've seen you. It's crazy how it's what have you been up to? I mean, as I said, the last time you were in the Funkatopia house was 2015. So I definitely missed you. It's so good to see you again. What have you been up to? Let's not talk about the whole 7 years, but what have you been up to the past year? We're going to talk about the album and the tour here in just a second, but outside personal life, not talking about tour or anything. What have you been doing the past year?
I've been trying to figure it out.
Haven't we all? Yeah, I get it. I get it.
And it's been good because it's been a serious ebb and flow, and I wouldn't change it at all, because I kind of learned a lot about myself, like from the last time you saw me in 2015. So I've been doing some theater stuff. I've been working with Nancy Wilson of Heart, which is amazing.
Right. Yeah.
I've had wins and damn sure several losses. But at the same time, I found another side. And I'm really excited right now.
So
Really.
what are some of the things on the other side? I mean, how do you feel like you've grown the most personally over the past year? What's some of the things that you've learned about yourself? Or we're gonna make this a Funk to Funk broadcast of what's gonna happen
Yeah.
here. What's that?
Brace yourself.
but
Yeah.
what have you learned? I mean, what are some of the things that have been the most prevalent that you learned about
Honestly,
yourself?
to authentically step into the light, right? I
Mhm.
mean, with social media and all this stuff going on or whatever, it could be easy to get distracted. I was very distracted. And just I was searching outside to find out who I was as an artist. And even besides being an artist, just as I was as a person, you know. So authentically, I'm like so happy, just kind of like dealing with the confidence side, who is live outside of on the stage stuff and all of that stuff. So um it I'm really happy for it, and that's why when I did the song Mantra, that it kind of really brought me to ground one, like seriously, back to my grassroots, back to the reason why I love making music, back to the reason why I just love living, stepping outside, having human interaction with people, period. So yeah.
That's awesome. I like that because this is the one thing that people are forgetting and losing sight of. You got to back away from social media. It's everything is here to distract us. Not saying everything is bad, but
Right.
it's here to distract us. And
Yeah,
at some point, until you let go, you can't find you. And like,
absolutely.
you lose who you are or never really knew. So
Yeah,
kudos.
yeah. I found a lot of strength in it, like everything was great, everything was golden. I mean, to be honest, when I had the TV shows or whatever, the Jimmy Fallons, that was amazing, and that part of the industry and the unexpected and stuff was amazing. But then that soon went like that.
Right.
Real talk, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because I really just was like, oh snap, mentor's not here. What do I do? Because you become so dependent. You become so dependent on the praise of like, you got that right, you did this, you did it. When it's like, man, you got to step out on your own, sis. You got to find your way, right? And you got to make those mistakes. And I made them, boy. I made them, and I'm happy about that, though. So yeah.
Yeah, and I can imagine what it was like. You mentioned that the mentor wasn't there. Obviously, you're definitely talking about the one and only.
Yes.
But
Right.
I find interesting is that he definitely could have shared some insight, because if anybody has been through it, as
Yes.
far as on the top of his game, and then the next thing you know, he was like a media pariah, and it was like
Right.
nobody would give him any time of day, and the way he just kind of held himself together and just stayed the course. I mean,
That's it.
that type of information, I mean, that type of insight from somebody who's been there, done that, is like so important to be able to lean on that, because especially nowadays, and not just in the entertainment industry, but just life in general. It's just like, just it's not always going to be, excuse my language, it's not always going to be this shitty. Just stay the course. Stay the course.
Yeah, stay the course.
We're so surrounded with people trying to tell us who we are.
That's it.
It's really difficult to stay the course until you turn it off. So
very true, very true.
Yeah.
And I do have to say one thing he said to me, because I had talked to him at one point, and I was like, people are, some at the time weren't understanding, like, okay, you come from this R&B world, I did, and then you flip, and then you do this rock soul stuff. And he was like, look, they're not going to get it, and it's okay. They will come and find you when it is time. If they don't understand you, quit waiting on people to get it, And it, I think he told me that like maybe 6 years ago, but that didn't click at the time. I was like, yeah, whatever. But now, I understand the conversation for sure.
Women in rock. I can tell you, my friend Joyce Kennedy will tell you.
Yes.
She said she's always been that. They've never. It's funny because in Europe, for those who don't know, Joyce Kennedy's lead singer of Mother's Finest. they've never really been massive here in the United States, but over in Europe, they sell out stadiums. I mean, we're talking about like Rolling Stones level, like stadiums, and it's just. We'll talk about her in a second because
I love her. Yes,
yes, she's the best. So we talked about the fact that you were on the show in 2015, and before that, in 2013, you had actually come through with Elisa Fiorillo and
Shelby J.
And Shelby J.
Yes.
In Atlanta at Piedmont Park. You guys were under a tent, and I got to talk to Shelby and you guys, and I was there as press. And I actually shot a video of you performing Why Do You Lie? And what was funny is that they is that I thought, what's going to end up happening here is that Prince is going to slap my hand for this for sure. Because Prince and I had this relationship where if I wanted him to talk to me, he absolutely would, boost me up on Facebook and Twitter, and I loved him for that. But if you made him mad, he would go dark for like a couple months. And I said, I'm probably going to get my hand slapped for this, but he actually surprised me because not even a day, it was like the next day or 2 days later, he actually tweeted about this video and linked to it, and he actually liked the video, and I was just like, are you kidding? You just never know with this guy. Look at you. I would put on the audio. If you guys want to see it, just go to youtube.com/Funkatopia and look up Liv in that channel, and you'll be able to see it. But yeah, I took that video and Prince loved it. And I am so glad that you're back in the mix again, and that you're that you're performing and doing all this stuff, because let me tell you, I am just that was one of the most incredible performances that I had seen in a long time. I had never seen you perform up to that time in 2013. And I was just like, I'm not really completely clear who this woman is, but I'm following her to the ends of the earth.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
It was unfreaking believable.
Thank you.
Again, but it's so good to actually see you back in the mix.
Thank you.
You're getting a lot of traction too. Star Tribune put you on a list in an article called 6 Cool Things in Music, and you were featured on there with Casey Musgraves and Janet Jackson.
Crazy.
It was written by John Bream, who was a legend in journalism. I mean,
yes.
how cool was it to be included in that mix?
Crazy, like crazy. It was really a blessing to see that, because we've been working so hard as a band, and again, I finally felt like I had a show down that I was really super, super proud of. Not so much of trying to go into to the studio and like really fix it and engineer it and stuff like that. Like, no, I wanted it raw, raw. And so, but I also took a chance on that. You know what I mean? So, the show was at Cafe Noir in New York. The energy was crazy in the place. I know we're going to talk about it later, but I just, Hap, who was the club owner, was like, okay, we'll record tonight. So I listened to, the energy was crazy. The show was great. But when I heard the recording back, I was like, okay, wait, this is killing. And you know what? Put it out. That's just put it out. Let's just put it out, because my live shows, I feel like for me, are very different from album recordings. I don't know what it is. I don't know what
it's live.
That is. Yeah, it is live.
That's a curse of funk bands. It is a curse of funk bands, because I hear so many funk bands live and just like, oh my God, you guys are incredible. What an amazing sound. And you guys are just killing it. And then when it gets recorded,
it's not the same energy.
It's not the same energy. There's something missing. This happens frequently with Lettuce. Lettuce is a great funk band. One of the best funk bands on the planet.
Yes.
But something about when they get into the studio, it's like squashed down. It's like it doesn't have that same, you can't. Live is live. It's live all the way live, baby.
Yeah.
It's just a sound. We're talking about like that's not me, is it?
No, it's me. I'm sorry.
No, in 2015, when I interviewed you, Ryan Waters dropped in, and we're talking about the live at Cafe Watt now. I don't know. We're probably talking about why they named their venue that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What that is. But Ryan Waters dropped in. Now he is actually working with you on. He was on this recording live on this album, correct? You're still working with him and all that. So that's, I mean, that's really, really cool that you guys are still working. But so let's go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah.
Tell me about this amazing live at Cafe Wa album. It's unavailable. It's already available on Amazon and Spotify. And if you guys have not heard it, it's fantastic. And it's rocky too.
Yeah.
It's very different. Yeah. It's definitely rock. So tell me a little bit about the inspiration, about how you were setting up the set list. Were there songs that were cut out of this show? I imagine there probably was.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the continuity of the album and why you chose the songs that you did, and a little bit about the history of this album.
We had just came off of doing a Spain run at the Canary Islands, and we were already going off of amazing energy already. And Cafe Wa was the last show coming back into the States that we were doing. So I told the guys I was already feeling it. If you already know me, I kind of have my little whiskey. The energy in the room was already fired up. And I said, you know what? We are not doing any slow songs tonight. Like, I really don't want to do like anything slow.
Right.
And, I kind of, for me, I kind of sort of like to feel the room and read the room a little bit. And it was just the energy of the people in that place. And so I looked at the set list and I was like, well, we kind of did, I think I did Soul Lifted, I think, and maybe a couple of other slower songs. But the energy, I wanted it to be rock soul vibe. It just called for that. It called for, as many of us, we've been dealing with this whole COVID shit. And I could just tell people were in their seats feeling like, okay, we need the energy. We just need the vibe. And the love that I got off the place. We started off with More Things, which is the first song. And I knew right off the bat, I was like, okay, you could probably hear me saying that on the record. Like, okay, I already know what kind of night this is going to be. This is song one. Strap, hold on. You know what I mean? Get what you need to get, because it's going to be crazy. And and some songs, they were left off of the record. They were cool, but I think these were definitely songs I wanted to choose that I felt like the direction that I'm going. I still like to do the R&B stuff and the slow stuff, but at the same time, I like to just play to the energy. And that night, I'm glad I put it out, because I just feel like, I don't know, it's just motivation to what's next, honestly. Something else, I mean, if I put something else out live, which I'm thinking about doing, a Cafe Wa Part 2, because we are playing there again.
Yep, March 8th.
March 8th, that's right. The energy might be a little bit different. It might not be so much rock soul. It might be just whatever it calls for, so, but that night, it definitely called for that. It definitely called for all of that.
So we know that Ryan Waters is playing. Who else was playing the band?
Yeah,
you actually did a call out on the album.
Yeah. So Ryan Waters on guitar, of course. Marlon Patton on drums. J Mac, Justin McKinney on bass. Daniel Porter on keys, and Red on vocals. And a lot of people possibly know Red from D'Angelo Vanguard too. He sings with D'Angelo and them too. So it's a crazy band, crazy unit. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we can, again, we're talking a little bit about the tracks. I mean, as mentioned, you lean more towards the rock vibe this time, which really suits your vocals in that Mother's Finest type of way.
Yeah, thank you.
You just killed it, obviously. More Things, what is the opening track on this, which is Ryan Waters, who's played with you for a long time. A lot of people also know him. He used to actively play with Sade as well.
Yeah, still does.
And he still does. I wasn't aware of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So More Things is actually a track that's a few years old. It's been around since about 2018. And then the next song is Crash. I don't think that I had heard that song previously. Is that one of the newer songs of yours?
Yes. Yep. That
When,
one.
when did that come out?
Probably, I want to say 2018. Yep, about 2018. A
Okay.
lot of the stuff I tend to want to play it live before I record it, just so I could get it right.
Yeah, it's a fantastic track.
Thank you.
Mean, it definitely follows the vibe of More Things. Then you go into Don't Say Much,
Yep.
which is a track from The Unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do The Unexpected, which is a title track of Unexpected.
Yeah.
But that track, I always meant to ask you about this, but you know, I hadn't talked to you since Plectrum Electrum came out.
Yes.
What did you originally think when they repurposed Unexpected to the song Wow on Plectrum Electrum?
Okay.
What was your initial thoughts, and where was it? You
were
like, wait, hold on, this is my track.
So I was writing with my manager at the time, Yvonne, and I had said to her, I was like, you know, what am I going to call this album? I said, you know, for some reason, I just want to call it The Unexpected, because I know people are going to know this shit is coming from left field for me.
Right.
So then random, but not, Prince calls me and was like, so do you have a title for your, it's really weird. Do you have a title for your album? I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to call it The Unexpected. And he was like, I like that. He was like, let me write something. And I was like, okay, yeah. So he was like, give me a day, of course. And this is around when we were at Paisley around the time, I think. And then Josh calls me, and literally the next day, and was on the phone. He was like, I think that's what he said. He was like, he didn't man a few words. He was like, Liv, you need to listen. Put the phone up to the speakers, and it's Third Eye Girl playing Wow, right? I lost it. You can call it The Unexpected, or you can call it. And I was just like, wait, I'm like losing it. So I get on the phone and I go, in my mind, honestly, I'm like calculating, like, what am I going to do with this? This is crazy. Like, I can't redo this song. Like, there's no way. And I told him that. I was like, Prince, I said, this is a really amazing track. Like, I don't think we could. He said, yeah, you're right. And I go, okay, so let me just come back with my version. Let the band and I just like answer back to that. And he was like, all right, bet. And so, and then he heard our version. It's so funny because it was like almost this beautiful like play between who's going to try to do what version, or who is going to outdo whose version. And he loved it. And I just, it was so dope to me. I was so excited. And that's when I think around the time, when he put it out on Third Eye Girl, Plectrum Electrum, and then Unexpected, I was tripping off that. But he loved the version, because in my mind, I was thinking like, how would Tina, that's what I thought initially right off the bat. Like, how would Tina Turner like flip this? So yeah. He was like, you can't play the song like us. So you go ahead and do your version.
I was saying, I'll give it a shot if it's a challenge.
Exactly. Tyrone Hendricks, Tyrone Ryan, and Chris Turner, they did an amazing job. I mean, we were in Portland when we did it, and it was just it just came together. It was dope. It was really dope.
That's awesome. So The Unexpected's on this album, and then follow that with Embrace Me, which that's a track from your album from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like, how did you, was that song really just stand out to you, or did you kind of just like look at that album and go, I need to play something off of this? Or is that just a song that just stuck with you over the years? I mean, I was just curious why you picked that particular track off of that album. That album is killer, by the way.
Thank you.
Why, was there a specific reason why you decided to pull Embrace Me out of the mix?
Not really. It's kind of all of those things that you just mentioned. I think it's one of those groove things on the record. Because that album is so niche in my mind.
Yeah. Very soul kind of, yeah. It's
very, very beginning Liv, and I love it. And I get very particular with people who play that record, that first album, because that's like for real my baby.
Right.
So Embrace Me was more, it's something that I feel comfortable playing with everybody else. And I don't know, I love it. It's got that bop to it though. And I think it's easy for everybody to sing it. So it's also very cool to see everybody being like, ba, ba, da. It's just one of those.
Yeah,
It's one of those. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great track.
Really is.
And then the next song on the album, we're talking about, for those of you just joining us, obviously we are joined by the amazing Liv Warfield, who has got a brand new album called Live at Cafe Wa. And we are kind of going over the tracks. We got like 4 more tracks here to talk about just kind of briefly, because I wanted to go over some of the thought processes that were going on.
Sure.
Mantra is the next song. And now you put out this single a couple of years ago. And during this album, and we're going to get just deep just for a second.
Sure.
On the live album, you started this song by telling people in the audience repeatedly, walk in your truth, walk in your light. And you said that like repeatedly, walk in your truth, walk in your light. Can you kind of expand on that?
Yeah. Is that your personal mantra?
Yeah.
Good question.
It is, because I know for me how far I've come to get to this point, because I don't put a lot of my trials and tribulations on blast. That often it's just that I know what it's taken me to get to this point. I felt like I've had it and I lost it many times. And so with Mantra, I just was like, okay, Liv, this song has got to be something where you telling people to walk that path, because at the end of the day, the sun is still gonna rise, whether you like it or not. It's going to. So you just have to learn to put one foot in front of the other, brother, sis. You have to. It's going to be this path today or this path tomorrow, or whatever you choose. But it's going to be like this. But you just gotta stay focused. So you have to walk in your light, whatever that is, because everybody's story is individually theirs. And so for me, I had to keep saying that for myself. Okay, Liv, you got to walk in it. Everything that has been good is going to be good, and everything that's bad, it's okay. Walk through it. You're good. And I think it just, every time I sing it, and then also it was coming off, that song was definitely coming off of the energy. And when Prince passed, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Like I was saying earlier, like, it's not like I can get on the phone and call or be like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Or what, and like replaying all of the things that from student, teacher, master, teacher, I have to just kind of have a photographic memory in my mind of what you said, before. So it's your path, girl. Your parents, if some people have parents are here or not here, you just kind of got to keep going. You got to keep pushing.
Yeah. And the other thing too, you did mention Prince, because the next song on the album is a cover of When I Lay My Hands on You.
Yeah.
Interesting choice of songs.
Yeah.
And the vocal approach on this was very different.
Yeah.
The way that you kind of approach this song. So tell me a little bit about, how you, I guess, why you decided that particular song was going to be out of his entire collection. His library of songs. What really spoke to you about that song?
When I've heard it tons of times, but it was something about watching him at Montreux.
Oh yeah.
That blew my mind.
That, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he opened Montreux with that, didn't he? Didn't he opened Montreux with that on one of the nights?
Yeah, he did, with John Blackwell. And I always wanted it to feel dramatic, and Red was just an incredible vocalist. I wanted us like dual this vocal. I wanted it to be so dramatic that you feel it. I just wanted the intensity to be there. I wanted it to be long and drawn out and airy as much as possible.
Yeah,
so
vibe.
that was the approach that I wanted. Like, take your time with it, Ryan. Don't rush. Nobody rush. Let's just make it theatrical as much as possible.
Right.
Feel every word, feel every lyric, because I'm a lyric person. I want you to feel every bit of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let it breathe, right?
Let it breathe. Yeah.
That's so important. So important. Well, it's a great, I mean, I like the added guitar picking that Ryan was doing on it. It was like, it was just very, very different. It's so, if you guys want to hear a great cover of that song, When I Lay My Hands on You, it's on Liv's new album. And then, of course, you have Blackbird Part 1 and Blackbird Part 2 that actually close out the album. So talk about those tracks.
We cannot not have a show without playing Blackbird, okay?
You're right. Yeah, they can't.
All right.
Can't.
Like, I promise you, I probably have tried to run from it and to be like, no, we're not playing that tonight. And then, like, we have to play it. It's just one of those songs Ryan kills. Like, he wrote it, and just, it's a joy to play. It is amazing to play, and I love where it goes. It's never the same every time we play it, which is why I enjoy it so much, because it just morphs into like something else. So, and I love that about the guys, the musicians. I like that they like to just go and flow with the energy sometimes, you know, having that, what should I say? Playing parts is amazing. Like, I love for them to play parts, but when they can let go. Please.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, just what I think I appreciate most about the album, because this wasn't recorded that long ago.
Right.
No.
When was it recorded? January, was it?
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
July 28th. We did
July 28th. Okay. There wasn't a whole bunch of production work or anything that was done on this. I just kind of feel like it was so raw and so real, and just had a really, really great live vibe to it. And it just had that rock, just the rock edge that, I mean, you deliver rock vocals, you know, better than, you know, the greats that come before you, from Tina to Joyce. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. I mean, it's just a killer. So yeah, it's a fantastic album. You guys can check it out. Are the physical copies out of this album yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to get everybody to want physical copies.
Well, I love the fact that even though this album just screams "Come see me," and that
oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the point. It screams "Come see me." Like, that's it.
yeah.
So anyone who doesn't will be like, "Oh, I heard the album. I can't believe I missed it. When is she back in town?"
Blessings. Thank you.
Right. Exactly. Perfect segue, because you've got a European tour that's coming up to support this album. But before you do that, on March 8th, at Cafe Wa again, you're going to be in New York. So for those in the States, she's coming to where you are in New York on March 8th. So why did you decide to come back to that? And now I know you were talking about a possibility of a part 2, but was that the purpose or the reasoning for that second visit to this venue?
No, I wanted to play before we went overseas. I wanted to lock in unity with the guys before we head overseas, and then also snag some of that Cafe Wall energy before we leave. You know, because that place is so, it was really incredible. Like, the energy in the room is amazing. So I just want to go back there and just feel that one more time. And then, you know, we're also kind of using the night to celebrate the release of Cafe Wa for the live album. So it's also kind of maybe just sending us off with some really good energy in Europe, because I'm excited, but I'm nervous too. But I'm excited at the same time.
But you're doing that, and then you're going on this European tour. So for those folks in Europe, you guys a lot of dates coming up. Stockholm. Actually, I think you do. Look at you. Look at you all. Look at you already. Look at you already. Stockholm on March 11th. Oslo, March 12th. Zurich, March 14th. Paris, March 17th. That should be awesome. Birkenhead, March 18th. London, March 19th. And so Europe is definitely getting. Are you planning? Are you just seeing how this European tour goes before you decide whether or not any more you know gigs in the States are going to happen?
No, I'm planning. I really want to do some more shows in the States. I do have a show in my hometown of Peoria, Illinois, April 23rd. But I definitely want to book some more shows in the States. It's funny because I really haven't played. I play a lot in the East Coast, but I want, ATL, I know. I know. I want to so bad. Yes, listen.
Just let us know. We'll pull some strings and
pull some strings.
No, man, we can definitely find you a venue here for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just want to play in the States a little bit more, which I haven't had a chance to do a lot of. But yeah, so I hopefully when we come back.
Yeah. So when you're doing these European tours, I mean, you've done the European tours before. Are you received really well over there as a solo act? I mean, how has your experience been over there as far as reception is concerned?
Yes, I absolutely love it.
They're just so much more better music fans than we are here. Not that we aren't great music fans. We are.
Absolutely.
It's just that they embrace it like wholeheartedly and they just go.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. And I appreciate that. I do. Yeah. And I really appreciate the support. I do. Like hands down, I really appreciate it. Because honestly, a lot of the the folks from Paris and London and stuff like that, they just constantly have kept me lifted up. Really lifted up. So yeah. And then because I'm also doing the June Moon, I also do a June Moon project, which I'm a part of. It's definitely a different vibe, but it's such a dope record. Like it's such a dope record. It's a whole nother side of me, but it's a great record.
Now, are you on that entire? I thought you were just on one particular track. Are you on that whole album?
The whole album.
Now, June Moon is from Paris, right?
Paris, yes.
Okay.
So when is that? Do you have it? When's that coming out?
It's already out. It came out in September. And I think, I think that's probably the confusion too. A lot of people think it's probably just like one song. But it's the whole album. It's really, really quite incredible. Wow. It's an incredible project. It's very different. Yeah.
Is it more jazz or I haven't heard it yet? So
I don't really know how to. It's more like alternative R&B. Man, it's really hard to describe, to be honest with you. It's very cool. It's very, very cool. It's not really, I wouldn't say it was like, it sounds R&B. It has its own DNA. It's really quite incredible.
Check it out. Well, you definitely piqued my interest for sure.
Well, there's a song coming out tomorrow called Lover that I wrote on it. And I'm sure people will understand the dedication. But that comes out tomorrow. The live version of it tomorrow, actually.
I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Is it out in vinyl?
Yeah, it's out in vinyl.
I ask it that way because I really appreciate the fact that you're putting things out in Mantra on your website.
Yes.
There's a vinyl, and so many people are holding back. Well, I'm waiting until, and if people want it, they can get it. But you're just like, put it out in vinyl. I'm thinking because I collect vinyl.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah. Same.
Same.
Yeah, the vinyl is really nice. It can kind of get expensive, as we know. Yeah. But I do like vinyl. So, but June Moon is on vinyl too, and I'm working on getting the Live at Cafe Wa on vinyl.
Awesome.
That'd be great. Yeah. I tell you would be a fantastic, and I don't know if she's released it on vinyl yet. Is Donna Grant's album?
Woo!
That album. Okay, for those of you guys who I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on the title of that album now. For those of you who loved the bootlegs that you guys heard on the Third Eye TV stuff, the Menstrual Cycle, all those tracks, all those musical tracks, you have to get Donna Grant's album because it literally is like almost a continuation of that instrumentally. It's just it's that Third Eye Girl instrumental stuff, but it's just her at the core, and it's oh man, it's just fantastic.
It's
Some
insane.
albums were made for vinyl. That album was made for vinyl.
Right.
Cafe Watt album you just did be fantastic on vinyl. The only thing annoying about vinyl is having to go over and flip the album over in the middle. It's just like, yes, thank you, Arlene. Diamonds and Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. That album, Donna Grant's Diamonds and Dynamite, is just
And live, and seeing Donna live.
yes. I mean, I've seen video clips, but I have not been in her presence to see her play live. No,
It's chilling. It's
I bet.
so incredible. It's just intense.
Yeah. Again, if you guys, I'm not to cross promote, but you guys are friends. They're fine.
Yes.
But Diamonds and Dynamite, if you love that Third Eye Girl instrumental stuff, all that stuff that came out on the Third Eye TV stuff, you got to get that album because it's just like that. And it's phenomenal.
Yes.
So who else besides June Moon? Because you seem to be every now and then I'll hear little quips about you sat in with this person. Is there any other side projects that you had going on that we don't know about that maybe like some you sat in?
I did it's called Toyland. I did a little thing with Ray Angry, Black Thought, Questlove,
wow, really? So you get a little the roots action in there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's really intense. It's a pretty amazing song.
And what album is it on?
Ray Angry. Yep. And Black Thought is on it, and Questlove and Pino Palladino. It's pretty insane. I really I was really trying to dive in, and a lot of these musicians, a lot of good friends of mine really kept my head above water by keeping me in projects and constantly writing and creating, so I'm thankful for them for just keeping me busy, and then I was doing theater for the past 6 months in Chicago, playing Cleopatra. So I've just kind of been like, just stay busy, Liv. Just stay busy, girl.
Yeah, we'll have to have you on again to talk about the Cleopatra stuff.
Yeah. It's insane. I mean, I joined the circus, really. And it's no
okay, hold on, time out. We got to get the story now.
No, I did. Honestly.
Okay. What did you do in it?
Teatro Zanzani. So I sang, and I was it's kind of like playing Madame Zanzani, but it's song and theater, and there's contortionists, there's jugglers, it's the sickest thing in like ever. It's in a over 100-year-old circus tent inside a hotel, Cambria Hotel in Chicago, on the 14th floor. It's the most amazing thing ever. It's like the sickest show.
Is there video of this?
Yes, there's video.
Okay, we got.
And so I have to say, I've been training for Ariel. I've been training so I can kind of do it. Hopefully next time I'm there.
A lot of Ariel people are doing Ariel right now until the pandemic passes or whatever. Are you experiencing that with anybody?
It's really great. It's totally changed me.
My daughter loves Ariel. She started doing Ariel, but we can't find any place that does it close to here. So it's like a 45-minute drive one way. It's like I'm glad that you love it, but God dang. It's like,
what I'm telling you, it's so worth it. And people have to see the show. It's called Teatro Zanzani. It's comedy, it's chaos, it's dinner. There's like a 3-course dinner.
Wow.
I'm going to invite you to Chicago, both of you. Anytime you come into the show.
You just tell us we're there.
Yes.
Absolutely. Kiaria wants to know, would you ever consider playing Tina Turner on Broadway?
Oh, wow.
I mean,
well, boy.
I would love to do Broadway. 100%. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if I could even handle playing Tina.
She's a monster.
She's a
beast.
She's a beast, and I would love to do Broadway. I hope that happens. I really do hope that happens. I hope that's in my card somewhere.
Well, you play, and correct me if not correct me. I know this is a fact. You played the Apollo sold out. Now, this wasn't the main stage. Was like a
No.
so okay,
Yeah.
but the fact that you were in the Apollo and
Yes.
I mean, tell me about that experience because I mean, you think about the legends that have walked through those halls.
Yeah.
Tell me about what it's like playing the Apollo.
Oh, the energy in that place, you definitely can feel it when you walk through the doors. It's really incredible. Like everybody there at the Apollo is like, honestly, it's like family environment. And they're super supportive. Just walking there and like touching the stump and stuff like that. It's just really crazy. And just to know that, you know, the amateur and like James Brown and just to know the history of people who have stepped in this building, Billie Holiday, just Ella Fitzgerald. I mean, clearly the list goes on, but it's just Phyllis Hyman. It's crazy. Just and Apollo has always been very welcome. You know, their energy there is always
to some folks. It can be a brutal. I'm not saying I don't have any personal.
I know what you mean. Yeah. But here's the thing, though. That's why.
As long as there's no Sandman on the side stage, you're good.
I honestly, that's why I love New York, though, too. At the same time, like I just really love their honesty.
Oh yeah.
And just how they feel. Really, I mean, there's no. I mean,
no holding back. Yeah.
No. Exactly.
You really want to know?
Exactly. Trust me. I think the first time I played there, I was like, oh my God, like, please, you guys, please, somebody just don't boo me. I really don't want this. I don't want this feeling. Like I cannot take it if that's the case, you know? Because I mean, that's all I saw when growing up, amateur night, of course.
Right. Oh yeah. It's like, yeah. Every single time you were just like, you knew when the Sandman was going to come out too. Just like, oh, the second that they opened their mouth, they were like, oh, he's coming.
He's coming.
He's coming.
Do I hear sirens?
He got more polite over the years and just kind of lightly would like guide them off the stage. But back in the day, I mean, it was like brutal. It was just like. But somebody was spreading the rumor that you were hurt at the Apollo show that you did. I heard somebody saying that, but I guess you dispelled it. Tell me about where that rumor even started, or do you even know?
It was on Twitter. Somebody said something about Twitter, and I had posted a picture of me singing, falling to my knees, and it was just this picture. It looks like I was probably in pain. So I said, "No, honey, this is just me feeling this note." So
just feel it. Yeah.
I thought it was really
let it all hang out.
Liv hurt herself, and I'm like, okay,
no, she didn't. No, So, but you know, your stage show has changed a lot over the years. I mean, you know, even when I saw you back in 2013 that first time, it was just the energy and the just moving back and forth and the talking and really engaging the audience. I mean, it was just so much energy and verve. But again, your show has definitely changed over the years, and especially as you started working more and more with Prince. What are some of the things that you learned about your performances after working with him for so long that you probably still carry with you to this day? Is there something specific that you can remember that guidance he gave you about your onstage persona, or how you carry yourself, or how you perform, or where you stand? Is there some things that like click in your mind every single time you step foot on the stage?
No, honestly, I think I just try to tap in as much as I can. Like,
and you always do.
Yeah,
I try to tap in. It's just, you know, maybe I worry about what I'm going to wear, or I'm trying to get better with different musicians now at this point, because it's kind of a different crew of, as we keep doing these shows, what story do I want to tell, really?
Yeah.
Because emotionally it's going to be what it's going to be. But at the same time, there's also a story involved too. And I want people to be able to feel those emotions and the storytelling and the lyrics and all of those things. Because nothing, believe me, nothing is put on. Everything is very tapped in. All of us are. We have a great time too. We have a wonderful time. Sometimes we are going over an hour 30 and they're like, stop, you know, and it's just, and I love that. I love that. So anytime that we can kind of take ourselves to a place, and I think that's what I learned from Prince for the most part, is being disciplined enough to know the music and people playing their parts, but being open and available enough to be tapped in musically, you know, to feel, to open your ears up to what people are playing and what people are doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And as a performer myself, I mean, I know when that happens because I did the lead vocalist role for a long time, and something happens where once you step on the stage, it's like a switch goes off, and it's like you just pour yourself into it.
Yes.
But one of the things that you said, which was really, really important to that performance, is knowing that everybody else that's on that stage has got their parts down.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about whether or not they're going to go into the solo in the right time, but they're going to, having that trust and not, worrying about what's going on behind you plays a really important part in performances for sure.
Right.
And it's always great that, you've been playing with some of these, you've been playing with Ryan for a really long time.
Yeah.
We talked about comparing you to a lot of different people. And I've seen everything online from, Tina Turner to Aretha to everything else. But, somebody that you remind me of a lot, not from the raunchiness side of perspective, but from the energy and the grit, would be Betty Davis.
Oh, wow.
Who passed away last Wednesday. We're talking a little bit about her. And I actually saw that you mentioned her on your timeline recently.
Yeah.
When was I know that Prince used to, who did I read an interview about that Prince played, I think he said it to Andy Allo, which was like, which was really weird because Andy and Betty are like so far apart. But he would play Betty Davis and he would say, that's what I'm going for right there. That's the energy. That's where you're in it. When was the first time you ever heard Betty Davis? Like, did you hear when you were young, or was it something you were introduced to a lot later?
A lot later. I think when I want to say on my own, though, when I think this is maybe in 2010, 2011, when I was first introduced to Mother's Finest, and then I started to dig deeper, like, okay, rock, soul vocalist, and then it was like Betty Davis. And then I was kind of like, because I was a big huge Pointer Sisters fan, and I ended up finding out that, a lot of them did background vocals for Betty Davis, and I just started to dig even more into Betty Davis, and I was like, oh God, like, They Say I'm Different, anti-love song, like, I was like, what is going on? It blew my mind because I love bass and guitar. And I love it, especially when they do it rhythmically. It's just something about that duality that drives me insane. Because I just was like, all these grooves are crazy. She's gritty. It's not worried about necessarily singing pretty, but just singing.
Just raw, very, very raw. She didn't do a lot of takes in the studio, and I know this has never been documented anywhere, but if anybody had ever heard the song Dedicated to the Press, at the end of that song, that is Prince's call. That is his, I mean, she did it way before Prince ever did it. And it like literally she was doing, I can't do it right now. She was doing it like 3 years before Prince's first album ever came out. And she did it like multiple times on the end of that song, Dedicated to the Press. And it's just, man. Anyways, I always think about just that raw and grittiness, because that's always the one thing I get from your performances is just how raw. that you are.
Mm.
Because you kind of just get into it and you just pour yourself into the music, very much like Betty Davis did, very much like Tina Turner did.
Mm.
You know, it's just like when she felt it, you just gotta, you know,
Mhm.
I mean, you've heard people compare you to Aretha and Chaka Khan and everything else, but
Mhm.
who, you know, you mentioned the Pointer Sisters, but who else were your actual singing inspirations?
Um, hmm. Uh, in the beginning, Donny Hathaway,
Ah, yes.
Of course, yeah.
Etta James. When I really started to be like, okay, Liv, you got a little vocal, and then Etta James, and then Sade, huge. Sade was huge, very probably
Yeah, she was
inspirational
very
for
used.
my first album. And then and of course Whitney was my first probably introduction. And actually, Whitney was my first, and then Nat King Cole was my second. Like introduction to like, this is what I want to do.
Man, I mean, I think about how much influences, I wonder just how many of these artists have had on you that just subliminally you just kind of absorbed, because you just, there's so much of all of them that are in your performance. It's just, you know,
Yeah.
but I do want to speak about, Jeff, you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was just thinking about it, and with all those people, when you're coming up with something or when you're feeling something, do you ever think to yourself that there's a specific one of those artists that you're invoking, like that you're pulling from in a song when you're performing?
Yeah, definitely over the past, for me, I just feel like, I guess I'm invoking it, but like Tina,
Yeah.
for sure, Tina and Joyce Kennedy. Like for me, those two really changed me. Really changed me.
Nice.
We're laughing because of the notes I have. The very next bullet is Joyce Kennedy. That we're and this is really funny. That's the reason why we both smiled, because it's like, because I've always thought that out of all the artists that I can think of, while the grit and the energy that I always think of Betty, as far as delivery is concerned, Joyce Kennedy from Mother's Finest, who I have been listening to since the 70s.
Okay.
I was born in 68, so I'm a child of the 70s.
Uh-huh.
Jeff Page won't let me say his age.
Jeff.
But anyways, I was born in 68, so I was a child of the 70s. So I was turned on to Mother's Finest very early up in Detroit.
Okay.
And loved her to death. I actually spent time interviewing her a couple of times, and the first time of which was literally like 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really kind of unexpected, because what was funny about it was I was called in to interview her at the show. I was just supposed to be there taking pictures of press, and I thought that I was just going to go in here and it was be real quick, and it was going to be 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was going to be, you know, a bunch of people around, and so I was going to get a couple questions in, and that's not what happened at all. They bring me into this room. And I'm like sitting there with Joyce and her husband in this room, in this small room, and I'm just like, I'm like totally just blown away, because I'm like, I am sitting here with and literally this is actually an edited video, but it was like an hour and a half interview with her in this small room with her and her husband, and they are just unloading on me, and I'm just like, this is the most amazing thing that I mean, literally, I may look like I'm holding it together, but I'm losing my shit right here.
Yeah.
Because I'm like standing with friggin', it's unreal. And so what I find cool is that, you know, you actually had an opportunity to meet with her as well.
Yes.
And talk with her just recently.
Yes.
On your Whiskey Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So first, I want you to tell people about your Whiskey Wednesdays. Second, is there a Whiskey Wednesday that's happening tomorrow? What's happening on it? But more so than anything, what was it like to interview Joyce on the Whiskey Wednesday?
Okay, so I didn't get a chance to do it because we had to postpone it.
Oh no, I was just
know,
like,
trust
I
me,
haven't seen it. I was trying to find it. I was like,
because
Oh,
for
no.
me, I really want this interview to happen.
Oh my gosh, I can call her.
Like, I really want this to go down with her and I.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's so many things. I just feel connected to her in some ways, you know. And yes, and Whiskey Wednesday. So I just try to talk to, it doesn't have to be artists, it could be anybody in the arts or anything like that. Just more so having a conversation. Like if you were to walk into a bar and you saw Deion Cole or Jamie Foxx and having a whiskey, what would you say? That's kind of like one of those things. Like it's just kind of that vibe, that kind of energy. Like, hey, you know, for me, I love my whiskey. And, you know, anytime I'm with my friends, I just like, let's just have like real conversation, not like anything, not like an interview, but just kind of like what's on your mind, whatever that is. So
we got to do one of those.
Yeah, please.
Hello.
Yeah. What's your favorite whiskey?
Uncle Nearest right now. I like Jameson, but I love Uncle Nearest. I really love Uncle Nearest.
I don't know that I've tried it. I'm gonna have to try it.
It's an amazing brand, black
owned. But I will reach out to Joyce on your behalf, and I will say, please connect with Liv. Absolutely, because she's and actually, our relationship continued for a little bit because my daughter started being friends with this drummer, and she told me who it was that she went to high school with him. Come to find out, it was Joyce's son.
What?
I was just like, what is happening here?
What is happening?
So my daughter and Joyce's son were hanging out, and we'll just leave that story there.
Okay.
But it was just like, it was just really bizarre that she went. They live somewhere around here. I have not been to the house, but I will reach out on your behalf because we got it. I want to, because you two are the same people, just obviously born in different eras, but you're the same, exactly the freaking same.
Bless
anyways, what was happening here? Did you say that the audio was loud on that video?
Yeah, in the video, the audio was a bit loud. Yeah,
I didn't even hear it in here at all.
Interesting.
Okay. Liv, you heard it too? It was really loud?
Just a little.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll have to fix it in post. But anyways, so you don't have anything going on tomorrow?
No,
tomorrow.
Okay. Right. No.
All right. So we're going to close this out. But what I want to do is we started a series called Funk the Funk. That we've done. We've done a couple episodes of it. First episode was phenomenal because we had like a bunch of different artists on. We had, Tony M, and we had Morris Hayes.
Okay.
And we had all these artists on. There was a bunch of people. We had Garrett Scheider from Parliament Funkadelic.
Okay.
Everybody came on the show to talk about depression.
Okay.
Right? And it was something that we just felt like it needed to be done because right now, the world is just so heavy right now. I mean, I'm not saying that in the 70s, hey man, that's heavy hippie way.
Yeah.
Even though I was a child of that era, being born in 68, Jeff Page. But the world is just thick with stress and people are on edge everywhere. What's some good advice that you have for people that are just kind of feeling like they're on the edge or capped out? I mean, I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what are some of the things that you would say to just kind of keep yourself motivated and positive that you might be able to pass on to somebody that's kind of feeling in some kind of way right now?
Yeah.
Okay. People need to go outside. I know this is crazy, but this is kind of like, I've done this in the past. Ground yourself. Meaning, get yourself connected back to the source, the universal source, whatever you call that, God, Yahweh, whatever. Take your shoes off, go to the ground, and connect your feet to the ground from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And when you do that, and you center yourself, And whatever it is, whether you call out to the sky, because I know one thing that I know when my mother did when I was born is she raised me to the sky. Now, when you reach out to the source, people just have to reach out to the source and ask for what you want. It may not come when you want it on the first time, whatever the case may be, but when you constantly give gratitude and thanks to the source, the universal source, it will come. Eventually, it will be there. Some people just need a reset. It's called just reset yourself, because all this chaos that we have to deal with is social media. Social media has just added an extra thing on what we do from day-to-day living. So for me, and surround yourself around people who get it. Surround yourself around people who will constantly encourage you. Constantly. Like, mold yourself, create your circle.
Right.
Tribe will be there. Your tribe will be there for you, and they will surround you. You know what I mean? Some people go out looking for it. Listen, you go out and you ask for the source, it's right there. Your neighbor. That's what's so crazy. Your neighbor. And people, but that's the thing, is people don't even want to, we don't talk to each other anymore.
We don't. Yeah.
We don't. And the mask thing is excuse.
Right.
You could still see pride in people's eyes. You could still see it in people's eyes. Windows of the soul, you could still see it. You know?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Do you have a specific person? I mean, there are many people that you can reach out to, but do you have that one specific that's your rock when you need a boost, when you know you're feeling it? Because sometimes it's difficult to just
it is.
on your own. You have that one.
I have a lot of really good friends, meaning 3. When I say a lot,
Yeah.
I have 3 people that I know. And then that's the thing. We can leave off for 10 years and not call each other. We can leave off for 5 or 3 months. But we know that if one calls, even if it's through a text or whatever the case may be, I know that that person is going to be there. And even if you, that's the thing, is sometimes even if you don't have that person, somewhere, brothers and sisters, you have to tap into that side and first give thanks, because you are still here and you are still breathing. You're still here. You know, I have Armstrong, my pup. He's energy. If my husband's not there, he's energy. It to me, I feel like it's all energy. It's energy, it's frequency. And when you put it out, you just have to allow yourself to be open. You know, it took me a long time to learn that. I was a hothead. It doesn't seem like it, but I had a real harsh attitude when things necessarily weren't going my way. Like, depression was heavy on me. I got through some serious stuff in my life. Mental health, for sure, for me. That's a big thing for me, because I used to fall into depression quick, very quick. And I had to learn how to really center myself, even if I didn't have my husband to call, my parents to call, none of that. I had to really start learning to love myself. I was beating myself up constantly. I was criticizing myself, comparing myself. The confidence was like not there. But I just had to learn to start spending time with myself and start loving myself, spending time with myself. You know, it's not an easy thing to do. It's not.
Yeah, it's tough to kind of sit down and say, what do I like about myself? What do I, you know? But I think that's kind of what a lot of people are going through too, is that they sit down and they go, man, I just don't. There's nothing that I like about myself. It's like, you know, how do you even direct a person like that? It's just like, okay, there's got to be something, you know, or if you can't find something that you like about yourself, ask your friends. They will tell you what there is to like about yourself. You can't, because if you're in a negative headspace, it's just, it can really tear you down, and it can start having a really big effect on you. I know one of the big things that works is meditation.
That's it.
And focus. And you do that quite a bit from what I understand. I've seen you, you know, some of your posts kind of focus on that. Tell me about your process. This is kind of like a little two-part question that will kind of close things out here, but tell me about your process, about how you get in that zone as far as focus and meditation. What do you do to get in your zone? And, are the specific things you have to turn off? Obviously, things like TV and other things like that need to be turned off. Phones need to be turned off. But what's the process that you get into to kind of put yourself in that state of mind?
Well, I had to start creating a routine for myself throughout the day. Like waking up in the morning and like, I'm so serious, you all, like creating a routine, whether it's going downstairs, boiling that coffee or tea, and just even looking out the window outside, closing my eyes and being like, all right, this is step one of the day. It was just as simple as that. Nothing crazy, but I really, really, really had to create that routine so that just started to become a part of my life. Because that's when things started to turn around. Then I would add stretching. My best friend would tell me, she'd be like, girl, I'm telling you, you always be complaining about your shoulders and your body. Because I'm telling you, I was walking around so tight. I was walking around, my shoulders were so tight. I felt the weight of everything. And then after that, I started stretching. Right. And it's so easy to talk about this stuff, and it also sounds kind of like redundant because I know people hear it all the time, like, oh my God, you got to stretch and blah blah blah, but it's true. Even if it's that, even if it's that, you've woken up all the senses in your body, and that had to become routine. Like even my husband, like child, he wakes up in the morning. When I saw him doing that, he sit at the corner of the bed, just chilling with his eyes closed. And I was like, what's going on? You okay? He was like, like I'm having my moment. And I respected that. I got that because that's his routine to start him off in the day. So I think people just need to develop whatever that routine is to just kind of wake up the senses here. There. Ground yourself and create the routine and love on yourself. Little things, love on yourself. Not go buy the Birkin bag. If you got the money, child, go get it. I'm not mad. But love on yourself.
Right.
Yeah, it's important.
Meaning foods. Meaning every once in a while, like I had to go buy, a little pH core water. Love on yourself. It's the little things, really. It's the little things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go vegan or anything. I mean, shout out to the ones that are.
Right.
It's
Right.
the little things.
I wish I could do it, but
I wish I could too, but I can't.
I did 45 days.
You said what?
I did a 45-day.
Did you get angry?
Actually, I didn't. I did, but I'm angry now.
I caught such the harshest attitude, and I said, I can't do it, but I can incorporate more of the living things into my body. So people just create a routine, create that love routine, and musically,
Okay, so one more question I have. So that's your morning, your start, get your day going. So that leads into you have a full day, then you have a show, and you go to big performance and you do your thing. What's the first thing you do to decompress after a performance, whether it was a killer, amazing performance or you're hard on yourself? How do you decompress and how do you recenter yourself after?
It's a great question. And being very transparent. Can somebody grab me a Jameson? And then after that,
I'm a Scotch drinker, man. I get it.
Yeah, well, and see, for me, to maybe kind of help your answer a little bit.
Yes.
Once I get done performing, I'm relaxed.
yes,
I'm normally very relaxed after I've performed because you just kind of you let it all out, and it's very cathartic to be on stage and just to kind of just let yourself go.
Yeah.
And it's just, you kind of come up and it just feels like it's just, this tension is just gone.
Yeah.
You were nervous before you got on the stage, maybe,
Yeah.
possibly. There's always a little bit of jitters, but it's just like, just kind of just
Yeah.
let it go.
Oh, yeah.
I like to be also around my band family too.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want them in the room. Like,
Right.
I want to see you. I want to feel you guys. I just want the energy. I want family. I want everybody in the room. Just so I can just be like, okay, we good? We're good. All right. Y'all go ahead and go off and do whatever, Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, it's been an absolute honor to have you on the show. It's so good to see you after so long.
Good to see you.
Oh my gosh. It's been so long. I'm so glad you came back. You guys need to head to Amazon, Spotify, wherever you listen to music right now. And eventually these physical copies will come out, because I think the demand is coming, because it's such a great album. It's such a raw, energetic sound, and it's got a lot of good vibes in there, not just songs that are just kind of put like in a really structured way. There's a lot of intros and a lot of vibe and a lot of just kind of letting it breathe, as you mentioned. There's a lot of those types of moments on the album. It's fantastic. It's a really good feeling album. Check it out. It's called Live at the Cafe Wa. And you're going to be there on March. Thank you for putting that up. It's going to be at March 8th in New York at Cafe Wa again. And then after that, after you guys kind of work things out a little bit, you guys are hitting the road and actually hitting the boat or the plane and going over to Europe and gonna do the European tour, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. You guys are going to be in a variety of different places. Obviously, you've been watching it scroll at the bottom of your screen. Head to livewarfieldofficial.com and you'll be able to see all the dates and everything. And it's and of course there are the dates. There's some of the dates right there, some of the places, but you absolutely positively have to check it out. It's fantastic. The album is great, and you got to see her live, because when you see her live, it will change you, and then you won't miss a show from there on out. So
blessings. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Liv. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute honor.
Thank you very much. What a pleasure. It's so much fun. So thank you.
And reach out to me via email, funkatopia@gmail.com, and I will put you in touch. Well, I'm going to reach out for you on behalf for the Joyce thing, and we'll make that happen.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to get a show or two here in Atlanta, so it's going.
Oh yes, please. Oh,
but if the invite for the Chicago thing comes before that, we'll do that. We'll do that.
That has to happen.
Absolutely.
All right, Liv. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Liv Warfield. And man, now you got me like feeling some sort of way about the video. I didn't hear any audio at all on that video.
Oh yeah. It was loud. The first one was too. It was like, whoa.
I thought that it was turned off, I guess. I didn't hear it at all in the mix, so maybe it won't be on the mix. Maybe it won't be on the mix in the.
That means your computer audio is not going through the same channel. It's going through something else.
Well, we'll fix it in the mix, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's something that's doable. Anyways, that was great. Love talking to her, and
she's amazing.
Apparently she actually has. I know Ronlin's saying. Ryland says that she has T-shirts and whiskey glasses on her site.
Yeah.
So
the site's great. I mean, the site takes you to her videos, her different performances on the shows that she did. I mean, it's great the way it's laid out, and the vinyl is there. So that's what.
Maria, thank you. Yeah, it was a thing. It was a process. Today started where I just did the beard and this down here, and I just had this. So it was kind of like an Abraham Lincoln / Amish look. And I wasn't feeling it.
Someone get the horses out. We're going for a walk.
Well, Adriana says it was loud. I guess. Well, hopefully, maybe StreamYard didn't pick it up. So,
Well,
I don't know.
it
We'll
is
find
what
out.
it is. We'll know.
find
But
out.
now we know exactly. She said no. Cammy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I kind of had an Amish thing, so I kind of did away with that, and then I left sizable sideburns. So
Yeah, well,
that's what it is.
if you do the Amish thing, just get me one of those fireplaces, one of those.
I'll make you some pierogies.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. So let's talk about news real quick, because I saved the news for last because I wanted to make sure that we kind of talked a lot about that thing, because there's some important news that you guys are going to want to hear. Some interesting topics too, but you're definitely going to want to hear some of these news tidbits as well. We kind of covered the Betty Davis passing. She passed on Wednesday, Queen of Funk, and she was amazing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite funk artists. I lucked out and actually purchased 2 of her vinyls. They Say I'm Different, and the first one from Discogs, right before the pricing blew up.
Went off the rails.
Went off the rails. So I'm looking forward to that, to getting them and listening to her on vinyl, because yes, Arlene, we're going to make an announcement about Purple Yoda. So stay put. We're definitely going to do that.
You mentioned that the documentary.
Oh yes, yeah. There's a documentary. If those who not really familiar with Betty, she was like the Queen of Funk. It's just like she was doing it like nobody else. She couldn't get, she had a really, really difficult time getting a record deal because she was pretty raunchy, and she was, singing about sex and singing about, it was just, and at the time, with the exception of like Motown and like a few exceptions, most of the record labels were run by, white men. And it was just, and they kind of almost still are to this day. But they weren't really feeling Betty. So she really didn't have a whole bunch of outlets, and she just stuck to her guns, and she eventually, was able to get those albums out. But there's a documentary called Betty Davis, rest in peace, Betty White too. Betty Davis, that's not the first time. Betty Davis, hey, what are you going to do? Betty Davis, They Say I'm Different. And it is a documentary, and it's right now it's airing free on Tubi, TUBI. So if you have Tubi, if you have a Roku TV, you can actually see it. It's actually, and it's not long either, so you don't have to dedicate a whole bunch. Oh, Arlene says it's also on YouTube. Elisa says it was on Netflix, but it's on. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore, but it's on Tubi right now, and according to Arlene, it's also on
sweet
on YouTube. So, and it's only about an hour long, if that. And it's really kind of cool because she still doesn't make an appearance in this documentary, because basically what happened was that she was married to Miles Davis, which is where her namesake is, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name. The trumpeter, let me see if I can at least get the spelling in front of me. You Masekela, I think is how you pronounce his last name. Questlove's new documentary, or not new documentary, came out last year, Summer of Soul, that talks about the event, and Operation Breadbasket was actually part of that movie too. Summer of Soul, that was the big music festival that took place in 1969, the same summer as Woodstock. And they even marketed it as the Black Woodstock, but it had Sly and the Family Stone, it had Nina Simone, it had the Staple Singers, it had Jesse Jackson was there. It was just an incredible event that drew like 30,000 people, and it was in the middle of Harlem, and they recorded this whole entire festival, and then on tape. And then after it was over, they just took those tapes and put them in storage, and they literally was sitting in a basement for 50 years.
Wow.
And Questlove found out about him and of course made this movie called Summer of Soul that kind of shows some highlights, but there's like 14 hours of footage that are on this thing, and it's an incredible documentary. It's really amazing, and they talk about Operation Breadbasket, which we actually talked quite a bit extensively about that.
We had them.
Yes, we did.
We had the sisters.
Yeah. So, anyways, all that being said, that documentary, Summer of Soul, is on Disney Plus now. I was on Disney Plus, and I happened to pop up Disney Plus, and Summer of Soul was on there. I was like, oh, sweet. So if you have not seen that documentary and you have Disney Plus, it's on there. It's been incredible. Anyways, guess what I got in the mail?
What did you get? What?
An actual physical copy of Endra Sherry's CD.
Endra Carey.
Endra Sherry.
I looked it up, and even in the explanations, like multiple people, they still say it differently. Some say Endra Cherry, some say Endra Carey. I'm like,
And I guess supposedly there's some other project that he's coming up that's going to be a continuation of that. That's called End Li Sherry, Li, which is what the band was originally called because it was named after some prehistoric fish or something. But anyways, awesome. There it is right there. I actually got the physical CD, and wow. I love even the stickers in Japanese and everything. I'm looking forward to checking this out. As you see, it's still in the wrapper.
Sweet.
But yeah, I actually got a physical copy. I actually had to order this from overseas, and it got here relatively fast. Okay. So anyways, gotta check that out. I'm looking forward to listening to it. All that being said. All right. So before we talk about this Purple Yoda Radio, let's briefly talk about the halftime show that happened at the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
So we had a little bit of a Super Bowl get together at my house, and Jeff Page was there, and so we got to watch the Super Bowl together. That was a lot of fun. We had a good time. We ate a lot of food.
We did.
And I continued to eat that food the next day as well, because I just had burgers and all kinds of stuff left over. The halftime performance, so I'm not going to talk about the game. The game was fine. It was a good game. Not quite the way that I would like to. I would have liked to have seen the Bengals win.
Right.
But, I really didn't. It was okay. They didn't. I wasn't upset. I didn't have any money on the game. It was fine.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the halftime show. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was really, really well done. There was a couple, obviously, some points on it. The surprise appearance by 50 Cent.
Yeah, that was
started out hanging upside down. He didn't look. I think once you get to a certain weight, when you hang upside down, it doesn't do a lot of good things for you.
Yeah, upside down is good look, but
I've lost a lot of weight, but I know that if I hung upside down, my face and everything would contort in a certain way.
He didn't contort too much. He
still looked good. Considering I don't know how old 50 Cent is now. What is he? 40 something?
I don't know. 100 something. I have no idea. He looks great though. He's
yeah. And Adriana said too, it was great, but half the stadium couldn't even see the performances except on the monitors. True, because they had those houses set up. We talked about this.
Oh.
They had those houses set up, and the backs of those houses were walls.
I was like,
so wow. The only time you could even see them is if they were on top, which some of them were.
Right.
But there was dancers and stuff that were going on in there. So it was just
I agree. I thought it was a great pick, but yeah, you just saw that. See, I can't. I can't.
50 looking like a Wuhan bat.
That's a horrible. Well, anyways, I thought the performance.
Our producer says 46 years old.
46. Cool.
46. Yeah, well, it just wasn't a great look. But anyways, also Anderson .Paak was there playing drums behind Dre.
Yep.
But the drums were not mic'd.
Right.
He played along really, really well with the track, whatever track was playing, because I don't. But the fact that he was there playing drums was fantastic. The first time I saw him was at One Music Fest. That's the only time I've seen Anderson play, is at One Music Fest, and he got on the drum kit and he was phenomenal. He was an amazing drummer, very much like Bruno Mars, just like a very it was just phenomenal. But the drum kit was not mic'd, so that was kind of interesting. Also, I don't know that you saw this, because I mean we were in the same room, but Eminem took a knee. I guess he took a knee behind Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
I guess as a statement, but there was no anthem being played to kind of make a point.
No acknowledgement.
I didn't notice it. I just thought he was just on his knee to be on his knee, or just kind of, not to upstage Dr. Dre while Dre was playing piano.
Right.
I did not notice the significance of that when it was happening. I wasn't sitting there going, "Oh, he's taking a knee." I didn't even recognize it or notice that was what was happening until I read it just the other day. Did you notice that and just didn't say anything, or your audio's off?
Sorry, I just did that. Yeah, no, I didn't I didn't catch it. Until it came up again. It was like, really? I didn't.
Veronica says she saw it, but if I did see it, I didn't recognize it as any type of political statement.
Yeah, and that's probably why it just didn't stand out as anything. Just it was a great performance. I mean, you got the hit maker and the hits, so at that point, I'm caught up just watching everything. So I didn't.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that I did not know that Dre could play piano like that. I mean, he may have learned that part just for the halftime show, but I didn't know he could play piano like that. So I was more focused on Dre cutting loose on the piano than I was Eminem behind him. I mean, I knew that Dre could play, but all the parts that he plays normally are just really kind of, standard, just think, those types of parts.
You'd be surprised at how many record producers, super producers can play. I mean, that's the thing. They have to have some musicality, Yeah.
Well,
it was nice to watch him play, though, to have him do that.
Arlene says Questlove said he was so surprised that Drake could play piano, he didn't even notice what he was doing. That's what happened. That's what happened to me.
It was awesome that he did that, though. I thought it was like, what? Like we all did that. We were all like, what?
Marcia said, I thought it was out of respect for Tupac. So there's something in the, I mean,
not a Copernic thing.
Yeah.
Not Copernic.
Yeah. Copernic.
I didn't want to say
Copernica. Yeah. Colin Kaepernick.
I want to say Copernic.
Yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with it. It's just it that whole knee movement goes way beyond Colin, even though he's the one that really kind of kicked that off to kind of get give it the attention that it deserved. But on the same note, it's so much more than
the knee is bigger than any one person anyway. Yeah.
Yes, that's good. That's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but all in all, good halftime show. I enjoyed it.
Great show.
I enjoyed it. All right, so which one should I talk about? Should I talk about Purple Yoda Radio or talk about Twitch first? What should I talk about first?
I think you should. I think you should Twitch it out, or end it on the Twitch note.
It on Twitch note.
Yeah. Let's give them. Let's give them what they want. Give them that news, and then give them the surprise hit.
Well, the surprise hit would be the Purple Yoda Radio thing.
Right. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, they're both kind of a little bit surprising.
Both kind of cool.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about. Well, you have to be ready. Are you ready with that image?
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. Okay. So let's just do the let's do the Twitch thing first, and then we'll close with the purple Yoda radio stuff. All right. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but one of the things that we kind of did.
You got to take me to the half screen.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to put it all the way up just yet. One of the things so I'm not going to put it all into the stream just yet.
In that case,
we were talking about Twitch because part of the Purple Yoda Radio thing is that it actually had a Twitch logo on it. We'll talk about that later. But we're trying to figure out things to do on Twitch, and Twitch is very much for gamers. So it's people, gamers watching gamers do gaming things. We are not a gaming show. We're not a gaming show. And one of the things that happened a year ago was that my daughter Jaden, okay, I'll take us out of this mix. My daughter Jaden actually created Paisley Park in Minecraft a year ago.
Are you ready now?
Yeah, go ahead. So a year ago, I don't know if I can make this solo. A year ago, Jaden started making Paisley Park in Minecraft. Almost a year ago. What happened March? This is almost 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
March 18th, 2020, she started creating Paisley Park in Minecraft. And it got pretty far, as you can see. This is just the outdoor of it. We hadn't started working on the inside yet. And so we wanted to do a Twitch show. So what's going to end up happening is that, and Jeff may join in. I think he's kind of on the fence about this because he knows nothing about Minecraft. I know a little bit about Minecraft. I know how to navigate around and build stuff and tear stuff down in Minecraft and do rooms and add windows and whatever.
I can direct and go there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely, positively could. So here's what's going to happen is that we are going to do a Twitch show and finish this project together. So there will be a Twitch show where we are going to be creating Paisley Park. We're going to finish Paisley Park. We're including doing the little dome building or whatever they're calling the dome building. So we're going to create that. And then we're going to perfect the outside, the parking lot, do all this stuff. And then we're going to go inside of this building and we're going to recreate the floor plan of Paisley Park. And we're going to leave it in so that people can kind of go in and, visit it and do whatever. And we're just kind of make it a cool thing because, we're not going to talk about metaverse stuff, but what we do want to do is we want to do a Twitch show. And so we are going to be doing a Twitch show or a couple of Twitch shows because this is not going to be a one show thing where we're just going to be building Paisley Park, finishing the outside, doing the interior stuff. I'll be talking about Prince stuff, maybe playing Prince music in the background, and just kind of just building this. So we'll let you know. You can join in and join us during this whole project as we continue to build Paisley Park. And we want to finish this because I think it would be super, super cool to finish this project.
I think that's an awesome idea. I think it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So
I have to bone up on my Minecraft.
And Jaden has been on my case to play Minecraft with her for a while. And I was like, I'll do it in this particular case because we'll go in and we'll just do a Twitch show. We'll be on Twitch for hours doing this, and people can come in and hang out with us and talk. And I guess you can also allow people to come in. So maybe we allow people to kind of come and help us work on it. It's really cool. So all that being said, this is a couple years ago. I hope this count is even still there. If we have to start from scratch, we'll start from scratch, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Wound up build.
Yeah. So this is coming. Just letting you know that this is a thing that's going to be happening. And this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, she is on her winter break. So do not be surprised if this Twitch thing happens during this break at some point. This just at least one of the episodes where we kind of break ground or do whatever we're going to do. So it's going to be fun. You guys get to hang out, watch the whole thing. As I said, yeah, watch the whole process evolve, watch everything. It's just very, very cool. And
awesome.
We're not going to talk about what I kind of blurted out a little bit, are we?
Well, we can. I mean, that's fine. I would say that
since we're talking a little bit about metaverse, here's something that's not on the mix.
Yeah. You want me to...
Okay, go ahead.
You want to...
No, go ahead. This is all you.
All right,
this is all you, because it's just like whoosh over my.
Those of you who have been diving into the VR world and starting to, those who have Oculus and whatever, those kind of things, I've been spending some quality time in there off and on. And what we're going to do, and we're in the process of creating, is the Funkatopia world or section in the metaverse. So basically, you'll be able to go in there and you'll come to Funkatopia and be able to lounge, sit down, and hear Funkatopia radio going. And the goal is to set it up so that when we do live, those who have VR and are not able to get to the show can actually watch it or join us live in the metaverse. So the goal is really going to be pretty heavy to actually stream the show in VR. So that's what we're working on.
Yeah. So, and when we're not live, I mean, there may be, interviews that you can watch that maybe you'll be able to click on, maybe a radio on the wall that you can kind of go into the room and you can turn on the radio and listen to Purple Yoda radio or listen to Funked Up.
Yep.
And yeah, so you'll actually be able to put on your VR headset, Oculus or whatever it is, and we're going to have an actual Funkatopia metaverse where you'll be able to engulf yourself in all things Funkatopia. And it's going to be,
and you will be able to, if you so wish, go to the shop and purchase things too. So we'll have it pretty, it's the real deal. So
it's going to be insane. It's going to be ridiculous. I can't get over my new look. I think removing the beard and going with this, long sideburns and everything, it's like shaved 10 years off of my face.
It's a good look. I mean, this is the first thing I said when I saw you, right? Like the first thing I noticed, like, hey, but I will say you do look like you're smirking the whole time. You look like you want to laugh.
I am smirking the whole time. I always smirk. That's my thing. All right. So lots of great stuff coming up. You got the metaverse, the Funkatopia metaverse that Jeff Page is working on. We switch sides. Jeff Page is working on. And then we've got the Twitch show, which will probably be happening this weekend, where we will be building Paisley Park. And yes, Jade and I will be building Paisley Park, the outside of it and the inside of it. We have to find the inside of it's going to be tricky because I know that there are floor plans of Paisley Park, but there's a bunch of areas that we're really not familiar with. I'm pretty familiar with the bottom floor. I've seen the bottom floor and been inside the bottom floor many times. I've never been upstairs. There's been a lot of people that have been upstairs. Like the Rainbow Children listening party. I know there was a lot of people upstairs. They actually had a listening party in that area above the cafeteria. Anyways, we know that there's floor plans, so we will be doing all that stuff, but we got to focus on the outside first and then digging out the inside and just kind of digging down where the vault was and all that stuff. So
awesome.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And it will continue to grow. And we got to, I'm sure there's some way to protect your building in Minecraft so that nobody can just come into your world and tear down your shit. So we'll figure
Yeah,
that
I'm
out.
sure there is. I'm sure it is. But the cool thing is if you do it right, maybe there's a way to take it and put it in our metaverse.
Yeah, and Alex said, "No, I actually have the Oculus. I got the Quest 2 just because of the fact that I was debating: do I get the Quest 2, the Oculus, or do I get a PlayStation 5?" And I was like, Luckily, my stepson got the PlayStation 5, and I went and played it at his house, and I was just like, it's just basically the PlayStation 4 that I already have, just with a little bit better graphics and a little bit different of a controller. And I was just like, but the Oculus is going to be a totally different thing. You're totally immersed in everything. You can actually get exercise. You're actually moving. So I was like, it was definitely, yeah. Kiaria says,
addictive.
"Are you going to put doves inside?" Yes, of course we're going to put doves inside.
I mean, hello.
As well as the urn, as well as everything. Actually, we may not even do the urn. This may be a throwback. We may actually try to figure out a way to actually put concerts on the stage,
That would be
in the stage area, so you can actually go into the area and actually have like maybe a concert playing on the movie thing. We're going to do a little bit of everything as much as we possibly can do. Speaking of which, Foo Fighters actually had an alternate, they had a metaverse concert during the Super Bowl halftime, or after the Super Bowl, I'm sorry. And it crashed and burned. Supposedly they were supposed to open the doors like a half hour before the show started so that people can go ahead and come in and start mingling around. And they didn't do that. They waited until the concert was supposed to start at 8:00, and then everybody just hit the servers all at 8:00 when they opened the doors, and everything just kind of crashed and burned.
Well, that's the world of technology. You don't know what to expect, but you got to have the doors open.
I don't foresee that problem with Funkatopia.
Nah, I don't.
But we're still going to have a good time. We are making sure that we're going to be ahead of the curve on everything. And speaking of which, so here is the closing statement for the last bullet point of the show. Purple Yoda Radio. Okay, so here's the big announcement. Not that we haven't had a bunch of big announcements tonight, but here's the big announcement. I took the Prince blocks down off of Funked Up and put them behind the paid wall of Patreon, because the biggest issue that we were having obviously was the ASCAP licensing fees. And I kind of gave you guys a little bit of an insight of what the BMI licensing fees are. Right. It's expensive. It's expensive to play these songs over the radio. It's expensive. And the problem is that the more people that listen, the more expensive it is, because it all starts accruing what's called listening hours.
Right.
And that's problematic, because we would have people listening from all over the world, but there literally are this many people that are actually supporting it financially, who are the Patreon supporters. So that, and I know the core people were the ones that were tuning in for the Prince blocks, and we would notice that because as soon as the Prince blocks were done, the listenership just went.
Right.
So that was a reason why I moved the Prince blocks behind the paid wall of Patreon. That was the reasoning why we did that.
Right.
Very, very simply, there weren't enough of you supporting the radio station monetarily in order to support the cost involved with the ASCAP and BMI licensing fees.
Right.
So that kind of temporarily fixed the problem. It really kind of didn't, because really the amount of people that were behind the Patreon wall were smaller. And the people that wanted to listen to 24/7 just regular funk became smaller because the Prince blocks weren't there.
Right.
So I started building a brand new app called Purple Yoda Radio, which we've talked about many times on this show. And we set up camp on this server that was a place called Cast Host. And it was going well for a little while. And then all of a sudden they disappeared. Like, I'm not just talking about like like the stream just stopped working momentarily. I'm talking about their website was completely gone. Like it was you go to their website to log in to kind of see what's going on at the radio station, and it kicked to a GoDaddy free domain parking page. It was like gone. I knew that it was a temporary thing, that something had happened, like somebody accidentally let the domain lapse or whatever it was.
Right.
I knew that was a temporary thing, but it caused me to freak out because the whole purpose of doing this, moving all the music online, is to minimize the downtime. So when we have bad storms here in Atlanta, you're not down and out. The stream stays up. Or if I go out of town, it's not just the radio station running from here and me freaking out, wondering if somebody's turned off the computer, or, you know, like in this particular case, you play YouTube video or somebody comes into the office. Anyways, I wanted to move it online. They were down for the better part of 2 days, and that just wasn't going to do. So I found an alternate service and I moved it over there. Have a brand new app that is being built right now. He's working through some quirks, and I can actually show you what it kind of looks like here. This is Purple Yoda Radio. This is the actual app on Purple Yoda Radio, and you can actually click on Purple Yoda Radio. You can actually click on Purple Yoda Radio, and it actually plays music, and it has everything. And what's also cool about this app is that you can also go back, and then you can switch over to the Funked Up app.
Yes, all in one place.
So you have an app that has 2 radio stations. It has Purple Yoda Radio, which is 24/7 Prince, all the deep cuts.
Yes.
And you can go back and you can switch between Funked Up and Purple Yoda Radio. So if you want the 24/7 funk, or if you're just kind of just not feeling Prince at the moment, I don't know when that would happen, but if you're not feeling Prince at the moment, you could switch over to the Funked Up app and you can listen to all your regular things. So it's done. It's ready. There's the Purple Yoda Radio logo, which is not really coming up well on here, but it's an app that's all in one. The plan was to release this app and charge $2.99 a month for it. That was the plan.
Right.
But come to find out that you cannot do that. You can't charge monthly like Google and Google Play and some of these things that you can do a monthly thing. You either have to charge a flat fee, flat fee, or you have to give it away for free. And the flat fee is fine, but the reality of it is that even somebody plays a flat fee, the ASCAP and BMI stuff happens quarterly. Actually, I was going to say monthly. It happens quarterly.
Right.
Those fees keep coming. So while it may help if people purchase it, it's just not. It just is what it is.
Right.
So we have decided, and I spoke with the Patreon supporters, we have decided that this app with the Purple Yoda Radio and Funked Up is going to be given to everybody for free.
Free.
Yeah.
Free.
So it will no longer be behind a Patreon wall. It is going to be given to everybody. And what's going to happen is that once the app is done, it's going to overwrite the Funked Up app that you currently have on your phone.
Right.
So if you love the Funked Up app the way that it is now, I don't know why you wouldn't want to update it, but because you're not losing it, you're just getting an extra added channel to it.
Right.
But it will eventually show up as an update and I will let you know when that update is live, but it will show up as an update on Google Play or on iPhone. And I will let you know when the update goes live. They're still fixing some things on the app because there's just some quirks that need to be worked through. There's some little intricacies, like the capability to actually buy the music on the phone.
Right.
So when you're listening to a song, to be able to click on the song, click buy now, and it will actually take you to Amazon to purchase the music.
Right.
And this is kind of how we're kind of a little offsetting some of these things, because the Amazon stuff will actually be tied to affiliate IDs, to our affiliate IDs. That's how I'm going to offset the cost. So if you hear a song that you really like, please buy it.
Right.
If you hear an album, a song from an album that you do not have, please click the link in the app to buy it.
Right.
And there may be rotating ads that are on there, not audio, that are on the app, that will be on the app. Please don't turn them off. Right. That's how we're going to offset the cost of this if we give this app to you guys for free.
Right.
So can you listen on your computer? Yes, actually you can listen on your computer right now. Purple Yoda Radio is available online right now to listen to live right now, but not through the app. By the time this show, starting tomorrow at midnight tonight, actually, once we get off this broadcast, I will go ahead and update the broadcast, but you'll be able to go to purpleyodaradio.com and you'll be able to listen to the broadcast for free for Purple Yoda Radio. Funked Up is also changing completely, because we're moving it up to this new system that really, there are almost 2,500 songs in the Funked Up library, 2,500. But if you listen to the Funked Up app on a regular basis, it doesn't seem like there's 2,500 songs.
Right.
It just kind of seems like it's playing the same couple
Repeats
hundred.
Yeah.
The couple hundred or so songs. I mean, they're still great songs, but it just seems like it's kind of rotating the same songs, because it can't. That's the system that's running for my computer right now. But both the Funked Up app that we have, the new Funked Up app, is really doing a great job at reaching in and grabbing some of those songs that aren't regularly played. Plus, on top of that, the other part of this is that I'm having to go in and manually add in album covers to 1,000+ sound files. So I'm having to go in, put in the Amazon buy now links. I'm having to make modifications to the album covers, make sure that they're showing the album covers, because there's some weird stuff that's going on, like a Fresh Prince album cover will appear out of nowhere or whatever, because what it does is it searches iTunes or Amazon. If something doesn't exist, then it just takes it upon itself to kind of go nuts and just find something. Mm-hmm. So we are actually, so anyways, it's going. So that's the big announcement. The app is going to be free. It will show up as an update for Funked Up. I will let you know once that update is live, because some people's phones don't automatically update apps. I will let you know when it's updated, so then you can go into your system and you can update the Funked Up app, and you will get, you'll get the new Funked Up app that has a whole different. It's got the same library, but it's got a bunch more songs that you'll actually hear. It actually mixes it up really, really well. We're still working on new bumpers for Purple Yoda Radio. Dang it, I did not get one from Liv.
Oh, we will. And also, you'll have the Purple Yoda Radio app, which is, if all you want to do is listen to the Prince 24/7, you'll be able to do that. Plus, there'll be programs on Prince as well. So we will have the Friday night concerts will be something that we'll be able to do again. So at Friday night at 8:00, we'll have a live concert, so we can start doing some things. Yes, please, Cammie, thank you so much. If you are not currently a member, please become a Patreon supporter. Again, even if it's at the lowest level, I beg of you, because here's the other thing too. Ultimately, the Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Funkatopia, and I'll put up that scroll, patreon.com/Funkatopia. These people are the ones that are supporting this app. All of this.
These people are the ones that are making it possible for you guys to get this app for free. And I would like for you to become one of these people. And the other thing about this is that I make sure that I am releasing stuff on a regular basis behind those Patreon walls. I'm giving you guys sound files. I'm giving you guys all kinds of access to a lot of cool things back there. Some of the higher levels actually get gifts that I actually send out. I think I sent out coffee mugs to the things. So I sent out coffee mugs and things. Oh, let me show you.
Underwear.
Talk for a second, Jeff. I want to show you what I also got for that I'm going to be sending out here.
Oh, great. Just going to let me talk. So I'm going to make.
Yes, just for a second.
Just a second. Yeah, you get a card, you get underwear. You're going to get all kinds of crazy stuff. A surfboard. Maybe not all those things. So we'll just take it away. But the point is, we really do appreciate the support. We really do need the support. And so right now, the more members that decide, even at the lowest level, you're paying it forward. You're receiving great gifts. We're moving on, but you're also making it easier for new people that come on board and are new to this and finally go, hey, what is this Funkatopia thing? What is this? What Purple Yoda Radio? And you're just helping us continue to do what we do, and it's becoming more and more difficult. So we really do appreciate the help. Yep, and. So, Chris, I told them all about the underwear and all the other stuff.
I heard you.
Yeah. Okay.
So the board of directors actually got coffee mugs. The level below, I'm actually sending this out, I believe, this week. It's a Prince coloring book along with the pack of crayons as well. So I'm sending out Prince coloring book and some crayons to the level that's right below. I think that's the unicorn level of supporters. They're actually getting so I send stuff to the Patreon supporters. I make sure I enter you guys in contests for drawings. When we did that big drawing, everybody that was in Patreon automatically got stuff already. So there are things that I try to do to make sure that the Patreon supporters feel supported. But again, the only reason why this app is going to be free is because of those Patreon supporters and because of the support and the ads that will be running, the buy now buttons that are going to be on there, as well as the physical ads. So that's our big announcement for the night for Purple Yoda Radio. It's going to be free. That's a big announcement. I'm glad I did that last because I can't imagine following that up with Twitch.
I agree. That's a tough act to follow right there.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way,
if you're a Minecrafter,
yeah, you like building things.
You like watching people build things. Well, if I got
check it out,
I got something for you.
Are you a gamer watcher lover?
Yeah. Yeah, so some of the things that we're dealing with on the app right now, it's just kind of showing some, it's like showing the artist and then the song title, and then it's also showing the artist again underneath it. So it's that.
Yeah.
There's not really an easy way to exit out of it. On that front part, it actually has links to Twitch and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So there's just some things that don't make sense. And so we're fixing all that stuff. There's just some technical weirdness that we're getting through. It doesn't communicate via DCS. So when you have the app on in your car, it doesn't put the song and the artist up on the thing. It just says now playing ... That was just like, yeah, these are, so yeah. All this stuff has got to be right. And I'm going through the process of updating all these 3,000 plus sound files manually, and I'm doing it in alphabetical order. And it's just every single song, it has to have an album cover attached to it, along with an Amazon link, buy now link incorporated into it. But again, tonight, after we get off of this broadcast, I will let you guys know if you want to listen. You can listen to Purple Yoda Radio via a browser. It's still the old Purple Yoda Radio that's playing right now on Purple Yoda Radio behind the paid wall. It's still on the Cast Host one. So our new provider it's got everything all kind of worked out. But you'll be able to hear the new Funked Up, and you'll be able to hear the Purple Yoda Radio online via a browser, not in the app. Yes, you if you go to Purple Yoda Radio right now, you do have to put in a password. But when I unlock it, you're not going to have to enter a password.
Right.
Donna says she didn't get a coffee mug. Was that? I think you had to be on the board of directors level to have gotten a coffee mug. I think. Are you a board of director? If you are, we'll fix that oversight. But I'm pretty sure that I took care of everybody.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. Please support us. Even if you do one-time donations, Cash App, Venmo, you can do that too. The money that comes in here is for music.
Right.
It's to pay for the stuff that we use. It's to pay for the app development. We had to hire somebody to build this app. It's not the same people that did the Funked Up app, because I think the Funked Up app was a disaster. I think it's great. And it served its purpose for many years.
Right.
But it's
times are changing, right?
It's just times are changing, and it's just there's still stuff that they haven't fixed, and I'm just over it. So
right.
Meh. So
Awesome.
Cool. Roddy said he got his hat. Got his hat. So I hope that you guys will definitely take a listen. I will post on Facebook after I get out of this, I will put it up, and we'll just, so anyways, thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
Huge thank you to Liv Warfield, who came on, and the new album is incredible, live at Cafe Wa.
Really is. Really.
And you got to check it out. It's on Spotify. I typically tell you to buy physical merchandise over streaming, but streaming appears to be the only way that it's on right now.
Right now. Yeah.
So
still get it.
Yep. And stay tuned. We could be announcing a Twitch show for this upcoming Friday, Saturday, Sunday, somewhere in here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Go to livwarfieldofficial.com for more information on her tour dates. If you happen to live in the New York area, go out and see her at Cafe Wa again. And or if you're in Europe, she's got a bunch of dates coming up in London and Paris and Frankfurt and all these places. So she's all over.
Everywhere. Yeah, she's all over the place.
So, all right. That's it for this episode of Funkatopia Live. I don't know if we're going to be taking next week off. We're still waiting on confirmation on a couple of things. So possibly there might be a special guest next week. If not, we're probably going to take it off because we just want to focus on getting this app into your hands.
We want to focus.
Yes, we got it. we got to keep things moving and grooving.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for all coming out and hanging with us. It was awesome. Thank you.
Yep. So good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And if you wanted to check out any part of this, it will be on. If you missed any part of the Liv Warfield interview, it's going to be on iHeartRadio. It's going to be on Spotify. It's going to be on Amazon Music. It's going to be on SoundCloud. It's going to be on all those places tomorrow. We'll go ahead and just put it out there. Probably cut out the news part. The news part will probably be available the unedited versions of all these shows are available to Patreon supporters also.
Right.
So
always,
you can always hear all this stuff. So anyways, good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and have a good one. Adios, amiga.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. See ya. For sure.